everyone, in today's video I am going to go over the differences between Fletcher Peak and Griffith Peak. One is rated as difficult and one is rated as moderate. So let's get started. The Griffith Peak is the third highest peak in southern Nevada. This is a great peak hike to condition yourself for the infamous Charleston Peak, but before you do Griffith Peak, you might want to try Fletcher Peak, which is the sixth highest peak in southern Nevada. Hi everyone, sorry for the wind, but we're gonna hike up to Fletcher Peak today. We made it! We made it to the top! Yay! Awesome! Griffith Peak stands at 11,060 feet in elevation, while Fletcher Peak stands in 10,319 feet, which is a significant difference, but I feel like the Fletcher Peak will definitely condition you for Griffith Peak. I do want to note that this is a really good hike. It's a good hike to challenge yourself if you don't hike a lot and you want to do basically some endurance training, because the first 2 miles are all uphill, and then when you start to get to Fletcher Peak, that last mile is uphill. But we're just taking our time. If you take your time, you won't wear out as easy, and you can stop and just enjoy these views. When I did Fletcher Peak last fall, I actually started at the Trail Canyon Trail in Trail Canyon. This gave me a little over 2,000 feet in elevation gain, and to be exact, I gained 2,133 feet in elevation. Now Griffith Peak, you will gain a lot more elevation. You will gain 3,451 feet of elevation. Trip Fletcher Canyon Trail or Fletcher Peak Trail is 7.4 miles if you start from Trail Canyon. When you do the Griffith Peak Trail from the South Loop Trailhead, you will have a hike of about 8.7 miles. Both hikes offer incredible views, and when you reach the peak, you will have panoramic views of everything that is just so incredible about the Spring Mountains. The panoramic views on the top of Griffith Peak will show you California, Nevada, and parts of Arizona. You will also see the Las Vegas Valley. You can see Pahrump and areas of Level Canyon. When you reach the peak of Fletcher Peak, you will see the Sheep Range and the Nevada Range, also parts of the edge of Area 51, and you can also see the beautiful Trail Canyon. It is so incredible to be on Fletcher Peak and just see the views of the Spring Mountains below you. Both trails include a box at the peak where you can sign the registry and you can take your summit selfie. Some of them, I know that Fletcher Peak does have the sign where it shows the elevation and you can take that selfie. Griffith Peak did not have that the last time I was up there. However, I do want to attempt Griffith Peak here in the next couple weeks, so I will update you on that to see if there's a sign up there on my Instagram. If you don't have me on Instagram, make sure you head on over to Diane Outside Las Vegas on Instagram so that you can see updates. The interesting part about both of these trails is both of these areas can actually lead you to Charleston Peak. The views, like I said, are incredible on both hikes. I like to compare both of them because I really do believe that Fletcher Peak is a great conditioning hike before you head to Griffith Peak to do that one. And then once you have bagged both of these peaks, I feel like you are set to go for Charleston Peak, which is significantly longer. It's almost 17 miles round trip if you go the South Loop side, and it's a little bit longer if you head on the North Loop side. But these are great conditioning hikes to try out your hand at Charleston Peak. Both of the trails to these peaks are off of the North and South Loop trail system. The Griffith Peak Trail is off of the South Loop trail system, which would take you to Charleston Peak if you were to head in the direction of Charleston Peak instead of Griffith Peak. If you head on the North Loop trail system, you can actually hit Fletcher Peak and then head back onto the North Loop trail system and hit Charleston Peak that way. You might even be able to make a backpacking trip out of it if you wanted to do a peak bagging hike trip. You could start on the North Loop trailhead, hit Fletcher Peak, go all the way around, hit Charleston Peak, and then hit Griffith Peak on your way back down the South Loop trailhead. I want to know, have you done either of these hikes? Have you done Charleston Peak? And what are your thoughts about these conditioning peak hikes for one or the other? Do you prefer Fletcher Peak over Griffith Peak? I don't know if I prefer one or the other. I know that if I have a little less energy, I'll probably hit up Fletcher Peak, but if I want to challenge myself a little bit more, I'm going to go ahead and hit that Griffith Peak. So let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button, and if you want to, subscribe, because I've got some awesome content coming and I want to see your comments in the future. So I will see you on the next video.